Board Game Empire. So today we're going to be doing a review of Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle Defense Against the Dark Arts by Off. Now this game is kind of like a card drafting, deck building battle game against another player where you're one of the Harry Potter classes and you're trying to get 3 stun tokens by defeating your opponent down to 0 health 3 times.
Okay, this is a cool kind of battling game. It's for only 2 players. We really like the theme. We watched all the Harry Potter movies. It kind of ties in with it, and it's easy. It's actually easy to learn and teach. You can teach in like 5 minutes. The rule book, it's 11 pages, but it definitely can be condensed down to 3 to 5 minutes. Also, the classes have a player aid, which tells you what you can do on your turn and end your turn. So great, cool little battling game. So we're just going to jump right into the review. So what do you think about the rules?
I'll give the rules a 5 out of 5 because we had no questions at all of the rules. We didn't have to refer to the rule book once when we were playing the game. And it also has everything you do.
Hopefully we didn't get any of the rules wrong then.
I don't think we did. It's a pretty simple game. But yeah, I would give the rules a 5 out of 5 for sure.
Okay, so I would give the rules 5 out of 5. Great rule book. It's detailed. It's also illustrated. That's one thing I really like about when the rule books actually show how and have examples on the turns and how to play. Also the card anatomy and how just the overall mechanic works. Also when you pick your class, it also tells you on your turn and in your turn. It also has all the rules and everything you need to do. But very good rule book and also player aid, so 5 out of 5. What did you think about the components?
I would give the components like a I would give the components like a 2.5 out of 5 because I would say the cards are kind of all bent.
Yeah.
A little bit. All the cards are extremely bent. It doesn't really matter gameplay wise, but it's a little bit annoying having all the cards really bent. And also these tokens, I'm not sure what these tokens are for because we didn't, they're really nice tokens, but we didn't use any of these tokens once. And also, sometimes, you may, because they're not, that much of a space, you might sometimes move yourself too far down, or sometimes you, put it, and you don't, it's, in between, and you might get mixed up, and you might not know what health track you're on. So that's my component rating for the game.
I would give the components a 3 out of 5, just simply because the cards are very thin, super thin, actually. They can be better quality. They also bend easily, and they also nick easily. So when you're handling the cards, if your nails aren't cut, it'll nick it very easily. Also, it bends easily, like the cards came bent, so, and the board is nice. Also, like the tracker, really like the metal. These are actually metal, these little skulls. And then the little tokens here are nice. We didn't really use them as much. I think that's more for, obviously, guessing younger kids or something when they have to keep track of stuff. Or cards that allow you to hold, certain abilities, and so you just keep gaining and you're able to use it.
I see this one for Owl, but I'm not sure if there's other cards that you use.
Yeah, they are. And so there's that aspect of it. So that's why I give the components a 3 out of 5. They could be better components for some of the stuff. And so 3 out of 5. What did you think about the experience?
I give the experience a 4.5 out of 5 in our playthrough because the game was actually pretty fun. We really liked the card battling aspect of the game. However, I will say one thing that could ruin your experience is if you play the game and there's this card called the Toad, and every single turn lets you heal 1 health. And
if you use 3 spells.
No, that's just for the cat. You can heal 1 health no matter what.
Oh, okay.
With the toad. Yeah, but if both players have the toad, I could see this game taking like 3 hours long, because in our first playthrough, not on video, we were like 1 hour in.
Hour and a half.
Well, 1 hour and a half. We did not get a single one of these. We were both at full HP, and we just stopped it there and then did the video. So I would recommend playing with the cat if you don't want the game to last longer than it should, because this game is supposed to be a 30 to 60 minute game, but if you're playing with like the toad, it's gonna be a lot longer than that.
So I give the experience at 4 out of 5. Great experience, but like he stated, wow, this game could go long. And we saw a video where actually there was like one video is like 3 hours and 10 minutes long. So it's just, it could vary from 25 to 3 hours. So it's a big time,
I think it's the biggest time gap we've ever seen.
Yeah, and so it could last a very long time. And so that's why, and like he stated, our first game was an hour and a half, and either of us did not get one of the skulls. And so we just stopped there and filmed, and pretty much we're just, hoping it wasn't 3 hour. I mean, it's a fun game, but 3 hours, it's quite a long game.
I mean, you probably won't go for all the cards at least, because we were like, I would say, like, not even, like, we were like 1/5 of the way through the cards.
No, we were probably like 3/5. We were like pretty far in the deck.
Oh, well, there's a lot of cards that I didn't see in the first game in the playthrough, but I can see if the game lasted 3 hours, you'd probably go for all the cards. I'm not sure what you would do if you went for all the cards. I guess you just score see who has the most, because there's not really anything that you could do past that. I don't think the game is supposed to be played that long, but it is very probable that could happen.
Yeah. So, like I said, pretty much 3 out of 5 in the experience, or what was it? Did I say 3 out of 5 or 4?
You said 4.
4 out of 5, because it's just it could be short game or it could be extremely long game. So, what did you think about the mechanics?
If this game actually did last 3 hours, that's the longest you've ever spent on a board game. What do you say, mechanics?
Yeah.
I would give the mechanics a 4 out of 5. I do like the mechanics. However, some of the card balancing could be kind of rebalanced. I will say some of the cards were definitely better than the other ones. Also, I would say that the Slytherin class kind of has the upper hand, because their spells are kind of overpowered, because they're more focused on giving your opponent like a crazy amount of attacks and hex cards. And I got 3 stuns, he got 0. So, especially combo with the cat.
Yeah, with the cat, that's why.
Yeah, but with the cat and if you're playing as a Slytherin class, it kind of destroys everything.
Yeah.
So, but I do like the mechanics of how you're buying cards. Like, let's say you drew a hand of...
You should always have a hand of 5 unless cards break that rule.
Yeah, so let's say that I got 5 money on my turn, and then you see this huge deck of cards, and I would want to buy that ally. And that's another cool thing about this game, is that that's one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah.
But you can, once you put them in your discard pile of cards, but then you can flip it, and then now can I see that?
No.
But we have that ally, and now you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it has a value of 1 or more, gain 1 attack and 1 money. So the allies really help, and they also, you can use them a lot with your cards.
And those are persistent. They're always in play.
Yeah, I like the progression.
Unless there's a card that removes the ally.
Yeah. But it's all the progression of how you get more and more allies, and eventually you'll grow stronger and stronger, even if the game takes 3 hours to play.
Yeah.
But I also like how you keep on getting new cards and spells. You can also banish some of your weaker cards, like the ones that gain you 1 money, and then if you banish all those, then you now have a deck of like all good cards, and that makes it easier to win. And I like the starter ally, try to get to pick which one. However, I will say the cat is definitely the best one.
Yeah.
For sure. I would say probably the worst one is the owl. The owl doesn't really seem to give a whole bunch of value.
No, it doesn't.
Because it would take a lot of turns to get that 1 extra money. And even if you were to save up 5 money, it still wouldn't be very worth it because it only saves you 1 card, and most of the cards that are good cost 5. Some of them even 9 or 11.
Well, you get 1 per turn with the owl, but the thing is you have to use it all at once.
Yeah.
Like if you've stacked up 5, you have to use it all at once. So if you buy a card for 4, then you can't reinvest that 1 that you didn't get.
Yeah. So let's say you need 1 extra money, but then you're like, oh, you saved up 7. Then you would be wasting 6 whole money that you saved 6 turns on to get. So, yeah, the owl definitely seems to be the weakest out of all of them. The cat's pretty good. The toad is good, but he makes the game take way too long.
Yeah, he does.
And also, I think that Slytherin's probably the best class we've played with.
Yeah.
Definitely better than
Ravenclaw.
And Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What's the other one? I think it's on the back of this one. It's Gryffindor. That one may or may not be better than Slytherin, but I don't think we really saw many cards that had one for Gryffindor. I noticed most of them were for Slytherin or Hufflepuff.
That's just the way the deck's shuffled. But
yeah.
So what did you give the mechanics?
A 4 out of 5.
Okay, I'll give the mechanics a 4 out of 5 as well because it is luck based on your card draw, as if you watch the playthrough, and there's no real way to negate that because you're just, and then also you're. I really do like the market where you're buying cards and where you can banish cards to. That's pretty much the only way you can negate it. Where you can banish cards, but you have to get cards to allow you to banish it. Where you can get rid of your bad cards. The allies are very helpful because, like he said, eventually you'll start stacking them up, and so you'll be gaining multiple resources and hits and healing through your allies. The hexes help, but there's not that many hexes that we found in cards that really give it to. So they're helpful, but then they don't last long, and so it didn't really help. I also like that once you get a card that is with your class, you're able to not only use the ability on the top, but you're also able to use the ability on the bottom. So if you stick with your class when you buy cards, you actually gain more because you're able to do more. So like you can see right here at the bottom, it lets me heal when I use this card because I'm in that specific class. But yeah, it's a great game, but there's just certain things that can be fine-tuned, I think, especially the time length of the game, how it varies dramatically. And the hexes, there wasn't a lot of hexes.
Yeah, we never saw the hexes in our game, but I just looked through the deck, and I would say they're pretty bad. Mm-hmm. So, you can only play 2 spells this turn. You cannot gain attacks or hearts, then you have to banish the hex. You cannot play allies this turn. You cannot gain more than 1 damage and health, and those don't banish. So you basically have to keep on dealing with those. And we know it's pretty hard to get rid of hexes. Yeah. There's only a few cards that get rid of them. So these can be absolutely brutal if you don't have the right cards to get rid of them.
and that's why I think that they kind of limited the cards that allow you to put hexes on other people, because it's just at that point, like he stated, it's not only it's hard to find cards that put hexes, but it's hard to find cards that remove the hexes. So if you get lucky, like I said, that's why I gave it 4 out of 5, the mechanic, because it's a little bit luck based on the card draw, and some cards are overpowered, and so if your opponent or you get that card, that's it, game over.
Polyjuice Potion's overpowered.
Yeah, because you'll be able to continue to damage them and, take pretty much stun them fairly quick. And so 4 out of 5. And the mechanics, what do you think about the replayability? Here.
But I think I would give the game a 3.5 out of 5 replayability, because if the game drags out too long, you'll go through all the cards. But yeah, some of the cards are overpowered. I would say the only class that could use the hexes were really the Slytherin class. The bonuses, I noticed, are pretty much the only cards that let us play hexes.
Yeah.
Weird question.
So you give it a 3 out of 5, 3.5?
Yeah, because I'll explain it.
Okay, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's highly replayable. I think an expansion would pretty much help the balancing and also the some of the mechanics that just because the balance between classes are kind of skewed on what you get and what you could do. Also, the time length of the game, I think expansion might be break down more and more clear cut on the time length of the game. But it is a great game. It's just you just need to know what you're getting into. It's determined on the allies. If you pick the wrong allies, it's a long game. If you pick the right allies, it's going to be a short game. And so 4 out of 5 in the mechanics or the replayability. So what did you think about the overall total?
I didn't explain the replayability. The reason why I only give it a 3 out of 5 is because I feel like in your first game, a lot of people will pick the Toad because it seems like the best one. Because once per turn, if you play these 3 spells, you gain a damage. And the Toad, you just immediately gain a health. And the reason why is because I feel like the majority of people will pick the Toad. And if you play with the Toad, if you actually finish the game, if you wait the insane amount of time, then you'll go through most of the deck by then, and you'll be pretty familiar with all the cards. And every time you see a card, you'll be like, oh, I've already seen that card before. So that's why I give it that replayability rating. But if they maybe balanced the starter cards, then this would easily be a 4.5 for me.
Okay, so what do you think about overall total?
I would give it a 3.7 out of 5, a 6.7 out of 10.
Well, 3.7 is that would put in the 8 mark. So your estimate on your
so 3 out of 5, 6.7.
3.5 out of 7. I mean 3.5 out of 5.
I'm saying a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 says 7.
Oh, well,
out of 10.
Will it be a 2.8?
Well, I don't know. What you're trying to give it?
A 6.7.
6.7. That would be like a 2.7 out of 5.
Well, I would give it higher than that. I would give it a 7 out of 10 because this definitely is a really fun game. It's just that there is some things that kind of like hurt it from like a little bit of the balancing. It's still a great card battling game. Definitely a really like thematic game that's like in line with the Harry Potter series. And there is lots of different card variety. And as long as you pick the right allies, you're good. And you can have lots of fun with this game. So that's my rating for it.
I give it like a 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10. I really like the progression in the game where you keep on stacking and you're able to do more. Also, very little downtime because the game does play fast in that aspect where you're taking turns because you're only playing 5 cards at a time unless, of course, a card breaks that rule and you get more cards. But it's you're always playing. Doesn't feel like it's taking forever because you're actually each turn probably lasts like I'm guessing 20 to 30 seconds. So you're playing constantly. Also, the cards have a lot of abilities and they're different in what they do. For the most part, you could do the cards allow you to get coins, heal, do damage. They allow you to gain other cards, hex cards. There's probably like I'm guessing like 10 different things you're allowed to do from the different cards. Well, actually, probably more than that because you're able to gain allies, remove allies. So you're probably looking at, I'm guessing if you study the whole game, probably like 15, 16 different things that each card does. And so there's actually, and if you do the math, that's a lot of different things, especially with a deck that's probably like I don't know, probably like 30, 40, 50 cards. So
40, 50 cards is way more cards than that. Do you mean like different cards?
No, I'm talking about the overall deck. I'm guessing it's probably, let's see, 10 or 20, 30, 40. Yeah, it's probably like 60 or 70 different cards.
But it's actually 35 because there's 2 of each card.
Yeah, so let's see. There's how many cards? I guess it doesn't state how many cards there are in the game.
But, it states it. How many cards?
121.
So if you're getting 121, you're getting about like 55. You're getting about 55 actual unique cards.
It's 121 Hogwarts cards, 31 hex cards, 8 book cards, and 28 starting cards. So that's quite a bit of cards. You're looking probably at like 20 to 30 plays before it becomes kind of repetitive and consistent. That you're you're seeing the cards multiple times and everything, and so you become very familiar with it. I'm guessing it probably takes probably like 8 to 12 games before you become fluent and really good at this game, and so you're able to master it and find a strategy that best fits gameplay. So it does have good replayability and also a lot of mechanics that for a card battling game. So that's pretty much why I give it 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10. Is there anything you were gonna say?
Yeah, I feel like we should a little bit balance of the Polyjuice potion because you can choose an ally you haven't played. You can copy the ability of that, and we only had 1 of them, and it was pretty overpowered. Yeah. And I could only imagine if you bought 2 of them. Yeah. That would be like you've pretty much won at that point. Yeah. Yes. Because like the allies are so powerful, and the fact how you can like reuse the same ability of the ally, like I was able, every time I got it, I was able to deal like 3 to 4 damage per turn, and it is not easy to heal that much. No,
it's almost impossible to get cards at that point to heal that much.
Yeah, so kind of like that's a little bit of a balancing flaw, but if they were to balance that card out, the game would be a lot more balanced.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our review. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Our social media is down below in the description. If you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment down below. We'll have a link of where to buy the game, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye!